Winston, thank you so much for your time today, talking to Express Magazine and joining me on the AndoVocals podcast. It's a massive pleasure and privilege.
You can see you've got some kind of visual of us going on in the background right there.
Yeah, it has to be done, man. It has to be done.
Legend.
Nice. First up, congratulations on 20 years of Parkway Drive.
Thank you.
Can you remember your first ever trip to Perth? Can you tell us about that?
As a band, I can definitely remember it. Sands Tavern. Played the Sands Tavern and we played HQ Skate Park.
HQ for the win.
HQ. Yeah, and it was wild. I remember we played with Miles Away, All the World, Burn for Me.
Burn for Me, yep.
And Alleged. Yeah, and that was the lineup, and it was mental. I remember Perth the first when we came over at that point in time was like the scene that was kind of coming up. It was the one that everyone's like, oh, hey, there's bands in Perth now. People can go and play in Perth. There's a band called Miles Away and they're sick. And we went over and HQ was just nuts, fully mental. I can remember, I think during Miles Away's set, I was standing behind Parkway's merch desk and I just stood up and head walked from the merch desk to the stage. Just walking across people, just going, this is crazy. So yeah,
epic, man.
Yes, I can remember Perth.
Beautiful. HQ definitely holds a dear place in my heart, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So Winston, this time around for the 20th anniversary tour, what are you doing differently compared to other tours?
The best way that I can describe this tour is it is Parkway reaching a place where we can fully articulate every single aspect of this band's career and identity and goal and ambition into one show with 100% clarity. And that means being able to put on a show that is not just the goal is to be able to walk into an arena and have Parkway play and you still get the vibe that you got when you were in HQ of I know these guys. I can reach out and I can high-five the singer. I can jump on my mates. That's sweet.
The old mic share.
Yeah, the old mic share. But at the same point in time, get a show and a set list and something which ranges from that intimacy to the psycho show that you've ever seen in an arena.
Yes.
Which is they're two very opposite ends of the spectrum, but that's what we're aiming for. It's it's not about going, we were once this thing or everyone accept this thing now. It's about saying, hey, you understand this band's journey. We do as well. And this is who we actually are. This is it. We haven't forgotten any pieces. We just have made sure it's all very well articulated at this point. So you're in for an insane night. An insane night.
Sick, man. Can't wait. So what can you tell us about the set you've got planned?
It's expensive. It's expensive. Yeah, it's awesome. It's it just fits with everything I said previously. Because that's kind of what it is. It's there's pieces of our history which in there which we haven't touched on in a while that feel very relevant and have been made to feel relevant in a very modern way when they sit next to the other songs. There's newer songs which hold their place in the way that we wanted to create them, to create that exact moment kind of thing. The ebbs and flows of this show are very well basically thought out. It's really nice to be able to curate a set list and go, wrote this one 20 years ago, cool. That fits with the song that you wrote 2 years ago. That's neat to be able to put them side by side and go, this is the same band. That's the thing. To be able to just go, yeah, Parkway are all of these things. They don't have to be just this or just that. This is them. They spent 20 years basically evolving their sound, but it still just comes from the one place, and then everyone can understand it through this show.
Awesome, dude. Love the sound of that.
It's not just you're going to get this one.
So some deeper cuts, that's what we're expecting to hear.
Oh, there's some deeper cuts. 100%. Yeah.
Good man.
Yes.
Yeah. So the tour includes American acts in Prevail and The Ghost Inside.
Yep.
And also Melbourne legends in Void of Vision jumping on board in order to balance out that USA versus Australia bill that you got happening there. What made it so easy to choose those bands as the support acts?
Prevail are doing really awesome at the moment. Like, I've watched them at a bunch of festivals, like, over the last couple of years, and watched them, like, what they're bringing. They're always really fun, really engaging band. Ghost Inside have always been an awesome band. We have a lot of history with those guys. They're really good friends of ours. I'm so stoked that they're able to come over on this. Like, they were on, like, the Deep Blue run, which was like a pivotal run for us as well. So the connection there is really rad. And to put them in front of, like, a lot of people that probably haven't heard Ghost Inside before, I'm like, you're going to love this. And Void of Vision, I'm really stoked to have those guys on. Like, it's really interesting that, because it's kind of, they're definitely not void of vision. I love the fact that they, like, it's so, like, out of all the bands in Australia, I'm like, your name does not match your career path. It's really cool, like, watching their journey as a band and where they've been willing to go and what they're willing to push themselves into, the spaces they're willing to push themselves into, and the quality that comes out the other side. I really love a band who has the desire to stretch themselves and continue pushing forwards rather than stagnate. And that band is a very, very amazing representation of that, especially coming out of this country. So yeah, it's cool.
You've collaborated with Aussie artists in North Lane and in Heartsway. If you could collaborate with any Perth artists, who would you choose and why?
Oh, God. I mean, the old person in me would say Miles Away, because I loved that band so much, and then they're kind of gone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Did Carnival count?
Yep, 100% they count. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they do, don't they? I'd say Carnival as well, because that band's special. Like,
very special.
Very, very special band. But I don't know if they're also one of those bands where I really love doing things where I don't know where I'd fit into the matrix of it, if that makes sense, which is why it was so fun working with North Lane. I'm like, their music's so different from what we do that it's challenging, and as an artist, it's real fun to be challenged and go, how do you take your skill and put it into this completely different area of sound? So yeah, two very different ends of the spectrum. Carnival, miles away there.
Carnival, they actually played at my 18th birthday for a Carson of Carlton draft.
Yeah, you are lucky to be up. Very few people in their history will be able to have that kind of memory. That's what. Where was the venue?
It was the Alexander Heights Community Centre.
Okay. So it wasn't a house party. It wasn't a house party. That's wild. Well done in pulling that, man. That's awesome. Those are the core kind of memories that few people get. Like me, having something like that. That's good dudes.
Absolutely. The famous group therapy sessions that you guys went through that were really well documented by Australian Story on the ABC, they worked wonders for you gents in keeping the band together, which we are all very, very thankful for. I was just wondering if there were some more amusing moments during those revelations that came out.
Not really, to be honest.
No, it was all pretty brutal.
100%, man. Like, it was gnarly. Like, I think the thing is, like, we've spent a lot of time focusing our lives on the lighter, funnier moments, which is why we had to kind of confront the more brutal moments, if that makes sense. I think it's in just Australian nature in general to, like, just go, she'll be right, don't worry. Look at the light side of it and just make a joke of it, kind of thing, which is we've been really, really good at doing. And that's why, it's just part of why we kind of ended up in that space. And, like, to be honest, we're still there. Like, it's not like something that we just did a few things and we're like, go, move on with it. Like, before this tour, we're still going in and, like, checking in and doing some sessions and stuff like that, because we just kind of feel like we need to. And it's not because we're like, oh my God, we're still traumatized and we got on, like, things we haven't talked about or anything. It's just like, no, this is just a healthy thing to do. Like, life never gets less complicated. The more time you add, the more complications you add to your life in general. That goes for everyone. Just like, at what point do you gain less experience? More experience is more problems, more things to deal with. So get some more tools to be able to figure that one out. So yeah.
It's also, it's all part of life's rich tapestry, right?
100%. That's it. And that's what's part of it. Like it's not that it's bad. It's just sometimes you don't know how to deal with it. So yeah.
Awesome. So looking back at the last 2 decades of bright city lights and late nights, what are the fondest memories of Parkway Drive?
Oh man. It goes without saying, but that I like standing on stage with my mates doing what we love is like, it's one that never gets old. It just doesn't get old. Like, being where it's at this point in time, like there comes a point when we get to rehearsals and all of this craziness is getting built, like the thing that you've imagined and you think you've built 20 years doing, and you watch hundreds of people creating this thing for your 5 mates just to go and have fun for like a couple of hours on stage at the end of the night. That's a trip to consider. Like it's just we do just stand there and feel like we're the smallest part of this giant Willy Wonka's chocolate factory that we've built around us. We're just like, that's kind of it. And you watch it get built every night and just go, we're the smallest part of this operation. Like all these people are incredible, but it's just from 5 guys just writing some music. How did it get to this? I mean, there's plenty of other things as well. Like it's like the fact that we've been able to see the world together, like the late nights playing Mario Kart, going to the wave pool together, like sitting and having a barbecue at a friend's house on tour together. All of the things that you'd expect people to be really stoked with, we've done. To be honest, it's not. I think if there's something I'm quite proud of, we've never become jaded with the position that we're in terms of the opportunity. Like it's not like I'm stoked every time I get to see the sun set. I'm stoked every time I get to see people rock up to a gig, and I'm stoked every time I get to see my mates smile and do something funny. So I'm stoked when stoked when our tour manager sets up a barbecue backstage and we all get to hang out together and chill. Like there's so much that we enjoy, and like they're all highlights that thing. So yeah.
That's very philosophical, man. I dig that.
20 years will do that to you. That's the thing. Especially an anniversary. Yeah.
A double-pronged and more selfish question from me now. I did a really shoddy gig at work last Friday. I sounded like bubbling vomit, man, and I was very sick. My question for you is, like, looking back at the early days of Parkway Drive, what was some of like the more average shows that you did? And secondly, when you're sick yourself on tour, how the hell do you get yourself up for a show?
You just do it. You just do it. That's the thing. Yeah, we've had some, like the infamous one, because it always comes up in conversation. What do you reckon the worst one we've ever played has been? And there's shows where we've played to like 5 people, but they aren't the ones that I remember as the worst. The legendary one that I remember as the worst is playing Jerry's Pizza, where is it? In somewhere in America. I can't remember. It's in like meth lab territory in America. Yeah. It's literally the basement of a pizza shop, and you get paid in a pizza. Like you get somehow this was on a tour, and you're like, what's the pay for this night? You get a cheese pizza. I'm like, this is in the country where cheese pizza costs $3, and you're in literally a basement. It's like it's not an actual venue. It's just raw concrete with pipes, and there's a pole in the middle of it. You set up the drum kit behind the pole. You can't move around the stage because you run into the pole, and the people there gave zero shits. Like zero shits. I've never seen them more. It was the kind of thing where we're playing and I can hear the conversations that the 10 people that are there are having with their back to us. And I'm like, why the f*** are you even here? Why are we here? Like that was the only time that I kind of questioned, like we literally, it was weird because we were like, never again. And then the next tour we came back and we played Jerry's Pizza again. Someone swore to be okay and it was shit again. It was just like, nah, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. I should have known better, but yeah. And I mean, there's been plenty of ones where they're sick. I can remember Jeff being so sick on the way to one that we rocked up in Salt Lake City after a stomach bug had hit half the crew. And he was literally like crumpled in the corner. And I think he was behind the bass cab, like just playing, but like half like slouched against a wall, and I'm just going, everyone's going mental, and I look around and Jeff's just like, I'm dead, dude. Like so yeah, we've had that one. I've power vomited blue Gatorade because I got food poisoning and went on stage on the first tour we did over there with Killswitch, and like I was like, I'm sick, I know I'm sick, but I'll try and do this set. There's a good chance I'm going to spew. And we only had half an hour, or maybe even we had 20 minutes, I don't even know. And we got to the end, like close to the end, and people wanted one more song, and they're like, it's like, yeah, we can do this, no worries, let's do another song. And we played Romance is Dead, and we got like halfway through it, and I was like, oh, like full blue all over the stage, like projectile vomiting. Yeah, it was gnarly. Like it was really, really gross. So
Speaking of one more, just as a parting question, if you could put your Parkway Drive lyrics into any famous speech ever, which one would it be?
Oh my god, I have no idea. Give me a famous speech.
In a moment of sheer nerves, Ando deviated from the prepared questions and answers on his run sheet. Ando envisaged mentioning this speech.
How dare you?
Replaced by these iconic Parkway Drive lyrics. The blind eye can no longer be cast. We'll build you down if we can learn from our mistakes. Let's face the facts. The clock is ticking. There is no second chance. Now, back to the conversation. Let's lighten the mood.
Mario Savio, Body Upon the Gears speech, I reckon that's a pretty profound.
Yeah, very true. Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit. It's interesting because like we always used to throw in quotes and samples and movie quotes and speech quotes into our music, like as an extra little thing. So, and they always seem much more poignant than anything I could come up with. So it'd be one of those things where whatever I'd say would be kind of dumbing down something that someone else has said very, very eloquently. which is not really in my wheelhouse. I don't know what it would be fitting for. I'm sure there's some dictator somewhere that's done something horrible that it would be kind of nice to lighten up with some Parkway lyrics.
Winston, it's been a pleasure and a privilege, mate, and we'll see you over here on, I believe it is Monday, September 30 at RAC Arena. And we can't fucking wait for it here in Perth. We're really geared up to see you guys and the entire kit and caboodle.
Yeah, apparently. Looking at the ticket sales, you're very much geared up. It's going to be absolutely insane. Oh, dude, it's nuts, man. It's going to be so sick. I'm so pumped.
And happy birthday for tomorrow, by the way, dude.
Cheers, boss. Yeah, that's nice. Thanks for remembering that one. Very nice.
Killer, man. Thank you so much for the chat.
Oh, my pleasure. Cheers.